What's going down? Modern Warfare has a new update. 1.18 is now live, and as you can see, sometimes the sun, neutrino stars, black holes, and then Modern Warfare updates have their own gravity. We're going to be covering what has changed. My name's Mac, you're at the MacGyver 7 channel, and we're going to be covering gaming news today, so let's go ahead and hop into it, shall we? As you can see, the sinking feeling of what the hell changed is pretty much there, 113 to going to 118, but I found some really good patch notes we're going to go ahead and cover directly from infinityward. But first, wanted to showcase one of the cool things that I found on Reddit. That was pretty neat. Someone was showcasing the new aluminum attachments for the Model 680, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool. About 30 seconds of the person just, doing that. There's some other variations nowadays that are like almost like an 8K. It's pretty awesome. But without looking any farther at this point in time, I think we've almost come down to that little clip-it of what's going down. So let's go ahead and go to the patch notes. March 26th aired in a brand new portion of Call of Duty. What's new? There's a total portions of the talent. There's the hideout 24/7 within the playlist in the Modern Warfare multiplayer. NVG Infection multiplayer mode now has a dark survivors, as well as the thermal sight unlimited NG portion of the battery. So now you can have, but infected can't see inside the dark. The realism damage, so make sure your headshots count. Plunder and blood money now can be guaranteed inside the cash drops on all kills and bounty contracts. For as far as what we'll be getting into with the finishing moves and the pay and the extra cash, general fixes come down to the tactical insertions. For as far as the crawl spaces near the oil portions and rust that's always seeming to make the list, as players will spawn elsewhere on the map besides where the tactic insert was placed. When utilizing the KBM, the navigation arrow uses the change within the session. Your viewing going into the wrong direction has been fixed. The fixed bugs for as far as the kill cam showed the players were the killed in the thermite rather than the underbarrel thermite. As far as the Xbox players, you may be experiencing some in-game shuddering after the console has been reset on an instant mode for as far as the setting inside the enabling for as far as that's been fixed. So it's almost like a sleep issue on a PC for most graphics cards. That's cool that they fixed that at least. If you've been having other issues, drop a comment down below. I would like to know. Moving on past that, for as far as the daily XP challenges and the double down on the XP right now for as far as that bug being fixed, and they've showed the weapons being equipment in the count kill cam. If players are utilizing the stop power, the ammo will count will be orange in the detonate, then will show whether the player is using a dead silent or the kill cam as well. Since 3 out of 10 updates, some players have been encountering the flash of light for as far as the VFX shooting in the standard walls, and that's been something that they have said that they fixed, so hopefully this will not be something on the next patch list. Which, if you're new to the network, you can always subscribe. It's absolutely free. But getting back to where we're at, the weapons have some new stuff to take a closer look at. For as far as the increasing max travel time for the crossbow, the bolts of 3 seconds to 6 seconds for longer distance shots. The bolt action rechamber will no longer be re-triggered if interrupted after the round has been ejected. This fixes an issue for the redundant bolt action for the rechamber after the weapon is switched. Removing the inaccurate attachment and descriptions for as far as with the NVG enhancement scope, the optical glance inside the visibility inside the enemies. For as far as the perks, the amps, the increased amp reloads for as far as the speed inside of that pillar as the joke, and the EOD, the damage resistance fix as far as that tuning, they have an issue with the thermite yet again. For as far as maybe that being like the white flicker wall, it's just all that thermite blowing up and glitch down. But looking at that situation for as far as what's equipped and shown, the damages and resistance and icons for as far as the damage resistance have been applied. The stuck thermite and the thermite bolts will no longer have damage reduced. For as far as the fixed field upgrades, you can see that there's a huge list for the field upgrades, starting with the pro, stopping down to the case where it failed the field exit, where the upgrade placement was, where the equipment was being used. For as far as the tactical inserts, the broken tactical portions of what happened to the icon was shown in the tactical destruction. For as far as the display, the shotgun that destroyed deployed the covered of 3 melee hits, the additional stats from the vehicle and the thermite damage, as well as the fixed bugs when placing deploy cover on 2 times would allow the door to be moved. Pretty cool. EMPs going into the drone in the situation of what not being seen was used inside of a new round inside of the mini ring grounds inside the modes. Stopping power makes the bottom of the list as we go to the very top of PC, where you can see that the double down amount of stopping power was given to the Pimpo in the weapons department. The stunt grade inside of PC is a little bit less intense for as far as several fixes that they've gone in stability inside of crashes. The campaign on the ambassador you can see is the green beam checkpoint when the players would not be able to progress in that mission inside of the drones. This has been fixed. The special operations list goes as is for as far as the location and the crypto keys making the display inside of the TAC, preventing also a guide rockets for as far as locking to the helicopter. Another one was the object and the icon of the pairing for as far as the TAC map, jumping out of the plane inside of the out of the bounds area, yet again making the list, as well as the not spawning inside of the plane. One player is outside of the plane doing that would also result inside of an out of bounds. Looking at the cruise missiles going down into the marking teammates as the enemy targets, as well as the stealth being automatically broken for retrying the operation. Enemies inside of the sentries are no longer shooting inside of the parachuting in. The rebalance inside of the explosions and damage inside of that against the Juggernaut have been very well inside of a tranquil mix, hopefully, as well as the bugs that have happened inside of the double time perks will not award correctly inside of the bonus speeds. Should hopefully be something that would be an operable fix. Looking at the camera bug that sometimes drift off inside of the pickup truck, you can also see that the icon appearing correctly inside of the UAV. Now with the exploit involving the Molotov inside of that crate being fixed inside the highlights inside of the non-triggered suicide bomb inside of the Juggernaut, throwing knives and not killing the enemies in one hit, players respawning inside of the empty ammo clips, as well as the enemy melee attacks ignoring players' armor, restock inside of the perks inside of the showing grenades in the recharge. For as far as the suicide bombers inside of the VO too frequently, now down to the ground fix for as far as ground war, which has been introduced. The fix that they've given us aside there is the bugs and the results and the players felling through the map. That being able to respawn inside of the tank and becoming full. So basically you just drift off into nowhere and somehow end up, what seems like, in some kind of random tank. Cool. No more though, apparently. Warzone also comes down to a few other fixes for as far as the new weapons inside of their found on the ground supplies for the 725 shotgun, the MK2 carbine, the marksman rifle, the EBR-14 marksman rifle, and the 50 GH. No more, because it's a handgun with a GS. Looking outside the situation for what the players in the who disconnect in the last stand will now drop their items when leaving the game. Fixed a bug when the animation in the players for as far as equipping the gas mask and the interrupted block players for deploying the parachute. Tuning and closing the shotgun damage that prevents the single shotgun blast drowning out the full armor player. Stopping the power that can make this happen. When looking at the Warzone inside the control buttons layout, the bumper ping as well as the bumper ping flipper layout will allow these players in the Warzone control the ping as well as the feature and that efficiency. Coming down to the very bottom, you can see that there is plunder. Players can no longer stack the self-revive kits as well as the situation inspector mode, still getting plunder payouts inside the contracts at a 40% value of the living player. Fixed to the help hatch for as far as the situation of the interacting cast depot inside the recon contract. The battle royale fixed a rare bug that allowed players to equip the situation of 2 royal shields They're battle royale shields. It's like dual wielding inside of there. You can't get hit. You can just knock them out. One shield and block with the other. Well, at that point in time, now you have to, well, go back to one. Seems like. Now looking at the situation where they've made it easier, where the items have been selected inside of the buy station, the update button layout, and the equipment inside of the gaming pad, the fixed bugs were they were not receiving the banners on top of the screen with the allies enemies in the initial kill streaks, on top of the bullets that were being prevented to go through the riot shield from the depleting armor. If the player is inside the situation on the drones, on the out of bounds, the players would hear the out of bound countdown from the timer. That would be the situation of these splashed to their screen as this bug has been fixed. So, looking at the situation for the variety of potential exploits, the failed upgrades on the bugs where they've gotten down to the portions of the pre-matches, as well as someone has been in the situation of disconnecting games, they have been able to hopefully fix this. The reducing amount of cash given from the portions of bounty, as well as the increased load layout and the drops in the buy stations from 8,500. But that's our patch notes, everyone. That's 1.18, and I luckily found this directly from a Reddit, and this is where I was able to supply it past the just security and stability fixes. This is your boy Max signing out, saying thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to the network, you can always subscribe. It's absolutely free, helps me as a creator, and if you do today, who knows, maybe they'll make another installment of Dante's Inferno. That game was really raw. It was amazing. I don't know if anyone remembers that, and if so, leave a comment down below. I'll see you guys and gals in the near future, and have a very nice day, and I'll see you guys and gals on the battlefield for the next update coming at you probably more than likely pretty soon.